Welcome to my podcast. I want for you all to unwind with me, cry with me, laugh with me, learn with me. But most importantly, I want for you to JoiFlix and chill with me. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. And let's get started. All right. So you may say, who are you? I mean, of course, I'm here to try out for American Idol.
No.
But I'm just kidding. All right, so my name is Joy Latson. Actually, my name is Dr. Joy Latson, and I call myself the human therapist. The reason why I do that, because I am a therapist, right? That's first. And then second, I am a human, but that's not all to it. So I call myself the human therapist because I think a lot of the times us therapists forget that we're human and we start putting other people's emotions in front of ours, other people's lives in front of ours, and we start to neglect ourselves, right? It's like we start to think that maybe we're superhuman or we have superpowers, but in reality, we're still human, right? We have challenges. We experience negative things, we experience adversity and hardships. And that's why I'm bringing this podcast to you all in the perspective of the human therapist. And that's going to be my personal experiences along with my professional experiences from both perspectives. Because I think it's so important to see me first as a human before people see me as a therapist, because I make mistakes, I juggle challenges, hardships and so on. So I think it would be good for you all to hear that, just to hear real life experiences in an informal, chill type of vibe. And that's where the name JoiFlix and Chill came from, because I want for us to just relax and chill, but at the same time, take something away from what I'm sharing with you all. So again, I'm Dr. Joy Latson, and you could just call me Joy. And I'll just be here talking about life, and yeah. So again, this is going to be extremely informal. I'm not going to be using all the big words and all the crazy terminology, because I want for everyone to understand. And I want to feel like a family, like we're just here having a conversation. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay. And something else, and also it's important for me to say that this is going to be extremely raw footage, right? This is going to be unedited. It's not scripted, as you can see, right? I'm a little unorganized right now, but it's not going to be scripted. It's just me talking. I just want it to be natural. I want it to flow. I want you to see me make mistakes. I just want it to be like we're here having a chill conversation amongst each other. So again, it's not going to be scripted or anything like that. I'm just going to talk off my head from my personal experiences and also from my knowledge as a professional in the mental health field. So to just share a lot about, my background, about, my professional experience. Again, I'm a mental health therapist, a psychologist. I'm a doctor of psychology in psychology. And what I do is I work with broad, a huge range of individuals, people that experience anxiety, people that experience anger, relationship issues, or people that just simply want me to hold a space for them, right? Because it is my goal to show everybody that to go to therapy, nothing needs to be wrong. Right? It's so important that we understand as humans, we deserve for a safe space to be held for us as a part of our daily routine, as a part of our daily self-care routine, right? We deserve that. We deserve to just unwind. We deserve to talk and vent. And we also deserve to have healing spaces. So that's what I do for my clients. I focus on the not what's wrong with you, but the what happened to you, right? Because there's a reason why we struggle. There's a reason why we go through challenges, which means there's a reason why we are experiencing the anxiety. No, it doesn't mean something's wrong with you to experience those symptoms. It just means something happened to you. And that's what I like to focus on. So I come from a more holistic view. I like to focus on the body as a whole, right? Because as a human, we function as a whole. We function as the mind, as the body, and as the spirit, right? And the goal is to have it balanced. So I just like to have a whole, you know, view of when I focus on mental health healing and therapy. So that's really my background. I mean, I started school not knowing I was going to be a therapist. I started my undergrad degree in criminal justice. Okay, your girl thought she was going to be a police officer. I always knew that I wanted to help people. And then I graduated with my bachelor's and I went to go for a job interview to get a corrections job position. And I walked in there and I was like, I don't know if the camera could zoom in, but I was like, yeah, this ain't for me. So then I saw a commercial and it said, oh, St. Thomas, I had the good music, vibing, and it was like, go to St. Thomas, pursue a counseling degree. And I was like, I always had a gift with helping people, and for some reason, people always feel comfortable to talk to me ever since I was little. So I was like, that might be right. And then they said it takes 4 years to complete, and I was like, oh, but then I did it. And that's what brought me here. So sometimes, the message behind that is sometimes you think you want to do something, and then life changes and you end up somewhere else. So I know this is random. And remember, like I said, this isn't scripted, but I just want to say this because I know a lot of times in life, we think that, there's life purposes, right? But we think that sometimes we have one life purpose and that we're just set to do one thing. But we grow and we change, which means that it's also okay for our interests to change, for our career paths to change, for our friend circles to change, for relationships to change, for our boundaries to change, and everything. So we don't have to always be stuck in one place. It's okay to grow and it's okay to evolve. And sometimes that just means having more than one purpose in life. Alrighty, so you will hear me in the background talking to my husband. He's the one behind all the scenes, making sure the sound is good, making sure the video looks right, getting all the angles, you feel me? So he's going to be asking me a few questions because this is an intro video, right? So I just want for you all to get the vibe of my podcast and to get to know me a little more. And yeah, I want this to just be like an introduction. So he's just going to ask me some questions and we're going to continue.
All right. What inspired you to do this podcast?
What inspired me? I could say there's a lot of things that inspired me to do this podcast. I think the main thing that inspired me is because, being in this field of mental health, you read and you read research and you do research and you see that it says that in life, in order for someone to overcome adversity, especially a child, or to overcome challenges, they just need that one person in their life to be able to support them, to be able to motivate them, to encourage them, to look up to. And that's why I wanted to hold this space, because sometimes you could just be that one person to motivate someone and to inspire someone. And I'm coming here, in this podcast, being transparent, and again, being the human therapist, because it wasn't easy for me to get here where I am today. And I want to show that. And I want to show people that, after your storm may take a while, but it does, the rainbow comes, sunshine comes, that saying that says, uh without pain, without pain, well, is there joy? Do you find joy? So I wanted to just be that person for people, to be able to come and find that motivation and encouragement. So that's what inspired me. But what also inspired me is that growing up, I wish I would have had something like this. I wish I would have had someone say, little girl, there's no limits. You can accomplish all that you put your mind to, because I think that, as people of color especially, we're taught to limit dreams, right? We're taught to dream small. You know, so not all of us, right? I'm not speaking for everyone, but I could speak for myself and some individuals that I know, that, we're not taught to just be like, oh, I could have this, I could have luxury, I can have this. We're just taught a lot of times to just settle. And I want to tell whoever is watching this, don't settle, because you could do it all. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a daughter, I'm a therapist, I'm a business owner. I just finished my doctorate's degree, so I was a student, and it's hard to find balance, and it can seem impossible, but that's not true. When you'll know when it's your time, and you will know when you're able to pursue those dreams, and don't let anyone tell you different, because let me tell you, they thought that I wouldn't make it. They said I wouldn't make it. And when I say they, that's teachers, that's people, that's classmates, that's individuals. There's a lot of people on my path that told me that I wouldn't make it. Most people, because of the color of my skin. So, there's a lot of things that, as people of color, women of color, a person of color, a black woman especially, that, it's important that, you know, it's a lot of things that we go through. It's a lot of things that we endure, and, we always deal with people telling us what we can and what we cannot do. And, people thought that I wasn't going to make it. People thought that, oh, when I was in elementary school, people looked down on me. Teachers looked down on me. That's going to be another podcast, I'm going to do a very specific topic when it comes to that. But I've been to job interviews that I was overqualified for in the past when I got my undergraduate degree. I remember going to a job interview at this, what was the name of that store? Do you remember the name of that store? It was called, it was like a furniture store that I went to, and I went for an interview. I had just graduated with my bachelor's degree. The reason why I put the store's name out there is you'll see. But I went to a job interview there. I had just graduated with my bachelor's degree, and I was looking for a job. And the job was to pass out flyers, okay? The job was to pass out flyers. And that's what I did. And so, no, that's what I didn't do. Sorry, I was distracted. But the job was to pass out flyers. So I was overqualified. I had just finished my degree in criminal justice. And I went in for the job interview, and there was people sitting at the desk, and I remember saying, hi, I'm here for an interview, and they were just looking at me crazy, right? Obviously. These were Caucasian individuals, Anglo-Saxon individuals, and they were looking at me crazy. And they were like, why are you here? Very disrespectfully. And I was like, I have an interview at so and so time. And they just laughed, and they were like, well, you can go up the elevator right here, and she's up there, the manager. So I was like, okay. So I went around. Now, mind you, at this time I was probably like, what, 2021. And I went around, and they were like, oh, she's never going to get this job, talking like that. So I went upstairs. The first thing I saw when I went upstairs, people in a meeting. It was like 10 people in a meeting. Now, these people sent me upstairs knowing these people were in a meeting, right? It was like they set me up, right? So I went upstairs, and I guess it was the manager at the time. She was like, what are you doing up here? And I was like, I'm here for an interview. And she was like, just go sit down. It was that moment that I was like, yeah, I'm not getting this job. I didn't get the job. And it was a flyer job to pass out flyers. And I had a bachelor's degree. And they said that I wasn't qualified to do that. Was I not qualified, or was I, you know, was I blackified, right? She didn't like that, obviously. So that was the reason why I didn't get the job at the time. And that just motivated me to push harder, right? That showed me that there's going to be people that doubt you, people that try to, cause you an opportunity that could help with your growth. But then there's also signs that I didn't need to be in that environment, because I got a better job right after that. I started working for the state, so I was downplaying myself because I doubted my ability to excel, you know? Um, so I just shared that because that's just an example that shows that, there's going to be limits, there's going to be barriers, there's going to be hardships, but to not give up because you don't know where you're going to be a few years later. I would have never thought I would be where I am today, that day of that interview. Um, and yeah, and also, and some more things that motivated me is when I said that phrase, they thought I wouldn't make it. It also means health wise, right? In 2011, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease that's called Wagner's. And yeah, it was very serious. I had to not finish my senior year. And I had to be hospitalized for months, for months, for months. And I was so sick. I was very sick. I had to be on treatments. At one point in time, they thought that I was gonna die. They didn't know what I had. And finally, I got this angel of a doctor that refused to give up. They took biopsies. They finally figured out my diagnosis, which is Wagner's. So shout out to all my people that make it from autoimmune diseases, okay? Um, and all my people with Wagner's, that have survived, and rest in peace to all the people that didn't. But, when I think about those moments, those are the moments that, I didn't see past. Again, they thought that I wasn't going to make it, and look at me now. I had to go to treatments every day, seeing people pass, being weak, having to regain my strength. I had to be homeschooled. I couldn't go back to school until the end of the year, because I pushed and I pushed and I pushed and I pushed through the challenges, through the disabilities. And I remember saying, like, this isn't all, this isn't it. I knew that my purpose, one of my purposes was higher, was to be higher than that for me. So yeah, it's to just say that, I didn't think that I would make it. Others didn't think that I would make it. And I made it. And it's so important for you to define what making it is to you, right? Because it's different for everybody. What making it to me may mean different from what making it in life means to you. And once you find that definition, you'll be able to pursue whatever it is that you are looking for. So again, that'll be a whole separate podcast. I just wanted to share that, because I think it's important for people to see that, you could be down, down, down low, but then you can rise too, so there's more for you. There's more for you out there. There was more for me out there. There's still more. There's so much success in this world. There's so many opportunities in this world, that you can make it. So yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you all that time. And also what also helped me too is that, my grandparents, shortly after that, after I was sick and after I went back to school, my grandparents, started being, not my grandparents, my grandma started being sickly, and she passed shortly after that. So that was like 2011, 2012. She passed in 2013. And that took a toll on me mentally. And that's what kind of put me on this path, because I saw that, it's okay to not always be okay. And my grandma was like, oof, everything to me, right? So, it that really showed me the importance of taking care of our mental health, because when she passed, I wasn't okay for a very long time, right? It started interfering in everything that I did, because that's what happens when our mental health isn't balanced, right? It affects our functioning. And that's what that did to me. And that's what pushed me into wanting to become a therapist, because I saw what I went through and I saw what grief did to me because I didn't know what it was. And I'll also be talking with that. So, how this is gonna be going, my podcast is, for now, my goal is to stick to from bi-weekly to monthly postings, and it's just gonna be a variety of topics, right? Of course, I am, skilled and trained in mental health, but I want to just have a broad, amount of topics, and I want to be able to talk about how mental health is in everything that we do, right? And I also want to talk about grief and loss. I want to talk about relationships. I want to talk about parenting. I want to talk about personal experiences that I have dealt with. And I also want to bring co-hosts. So, for example, maybe I have someone that specializes in trauma. Maybe I have someone that specializes in relationships. Or maybe I'll have, if I want to talk about mental health, black men dealing with mental health, I'll have a black, man like my brother, or someone who can relate to the topic come and share. Maybe sometimes I'll have one person, maybe sometimes I'll have two, but I just want to keep it real. I want to keep this a conversation. I want for you all to be able to share. Sometimes I'll engage with the viewers, ask you all questions, so that I can answer them here for you all, so you can feel the engagement, from coming from me. So that's how that's gonna be. So make sure you also are following my Instagram page, which is JoiFlix_Chill. And I'll be posting, like teasers and updates and, all that. And I'll be engaging also again with followers and with viewers, so that when I come onto the podcast, we have some interactions going on. And that's pretty much how that's gonna go, So again, I want for this to feel, the informal, but also the beneficial, safe space for us. That's what I want to do here. And I hope that you all are going to enjoy, and that you all are able to take away from this journey of me just being me, me bringing my life here, and sharing with you my challenges, but also my achievements, my accomplishments, and I just hope that someone, even if it's one person, two people, 1,000 people, 1,000,000 people, that can take from my experiences to encourage them or motivate them on this journey. That's my hope. So again, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that notification button, so that you could join me on this journey. All right. So I hope to see you soon. And yeah, we're just gonna make sure we're gonna be joy flixing and chilling together. And that's all. So I hope to see you in the next episode. Oh, I don't know if I'm supposed to be, telling you guys, but just a little update. I think the next episode's gonna be on mental health, right? Mental health, but in different perspectives. I want to talk about mental health in general, right? How it affects us, the importance of it. But also, I will be bringing a co-host, and that'll be a surprise, right? The co-host that I bring to join me in here to talk about their personal experiences also with mental health, and how they found that balance. So that'll be the next episode. So you all know to make sure to join and be here with me. Grab a seat, grab a pillow, grab your coffee, your tea, your henny hand, or your water. But I want to make sure that you're joy flixing and you're chilling. Oh, joy flicks and chill. See, that's where the unedited comes in. Alrighty, but I'll see you all next time.